Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed the intro as well. That was a trip we just did down to Bonaire and Curacao. That was in Bonaire. That was the wreck site called the Hilma Hooker. It was a drug running ship that they seized and it ended up sinking. I believe that's the history on it. Anyway, the tarpon seemed to live there. They really liked that site apparently. So I was chasing around down there, and then I buried my GoPro in the sand so I could take a couple of selfies. It was quite a fun thing. The dive site's actually sitting at about 100 feet in the water, so it's kind of an interesting little dive right off the shore. Anyways, here we go on the building the boat here. So this is the back of the boat. We were going to actually mount the kicker on this. We decided to just make the back transom flat, and then we're going to jaunt out where the kicker is, and then a little dive platform off the back of it. So I'm angling the back corner on the outside just so when you take off from the wharf you don't whack it into it, and then the other side I'll angle that back as well so that we can the motor can swing all the way. So I got the degrees off the motor, figured out what that was, so when it's mounted in there it doesn't hit it. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. And then I take the pipe that's in front of me there, I take that, and you want to notch the plate back far enough so that the pipe sits, like the plate comes out just flush to the pipe, and then it rounds down around the corner. It actually makes for a nice transition for everything. So you'll see as I cut it out. I just kind of set it up in place, fit it, and then I cut the notches out. Or I haven't tacked it, it's just sitting there, and then I'll lay out the notches and then bring it down, cut it, then put it back in, weld it in place. Yeah, so there it is here. It's all notched out, ready to go. So just pull it into place and tack it. There it goes. And then I move on and put the pipes and the other gussets and everything. The outside of the boat is pretty bad. It's warped out to everything. It's all bent and twisted. Mike calls it patine, which is quite funny. Anyway, so I gotta, every time I have to deal with the side of the boat to fit something to it, it's kind of a bit of a nightmare trying to get everything pulled back into place and trying to work the dents out and all that. It is what it is, though. Like Mike says, it's got to have a little bit of patine. It's gonna be a little ugly on the outside and then disco on the inside. Yeah, so there you go, right there. That's what I was talking about, how it's flush with the... I move a little bit too quick with the camera, but you can see where it's flush with the top of the pipe there. And then by the time you weld that up, it's a nice smooth transition in between it, so it ends up looking pretty good. And then I put gussets in underneath it, so it gives it some strength as well, because the kicker's going to be hanging off of that one, right? I'm going to raise it up an inch or so above the deck for the kicker to hang on to, so it can swing up and down. But we ended up finding Mike found it actually. He found a little 9.9 high thrust Yamaha. So it's got full controls on it. It's quite a good deal. So we're going to bolt that on the back. A little bit maybe underpowered for the boat, but that doesn't matter. All we're really doing is keeping off the rocks so the thing breaks down, and it's just patrolling, so it's going to be perfect. So trying to hold something in position while you're tacking it's sometimes a bit of a pain in the ass. So it's easy if you just kind of tack a clip in behind it, and then that'll stop it from pushing away when you pull the trigger. If you can kind of, it's hard to explain, but it's easier just to have something back there so I can hold a little bit of force on it, and then when you pull the trigger, everything doesn't jump around type thing. So that's what I'm doing there. So I did the same with the gusset as I did with the top plate. Make it so it runs flush into the pipe, so the transition's nice. So I run one more on the inside as well, come down. But this one goes 90 degrees to the hull because the motor's going up against it, so the motor's straight up and down, right? So this one goes straight in. I eventually put a plate up against the back side of it too, a vertical plate there as well. On this video I didn't get that far in this video with it, and I put that on after other pieces. So I like to try keeping the videos so that they're consistent with the build of the boat, so that I'm not jumping ahead and you watch one video and there's something on there that I'd never even showed you what I've been doing with it. So anyways, that's not on there yet, but it eventually goes on. It's actually amazing how many times you're holding something, you pull the trigger and tack it, and then it just moves like an 1/8 inch out of the way. It's quite frustrating. So this one actually went on pretty good. So this is the plate on the other side of the boat. They fit in there, and I basically do the exact same thing to that one. I just notch it out for the motor to fit in there, and then also the other side so that it doesn't get more when you take off. So now I'm just trimming a piece. I think it was 5 1/4 inches from the actual, like the deck that goes into the cab up to the back deck. That's a rise that jumps up to meet the two. So I'm just putting it, it's a little plate that's going to do that transition in there that I tack in. It's actually kind of a nice little setup. It's not a huge jump. It steps, I think, about 14 inches out of the cab, and then 5 1/4 inches up to the very back deck. So when we're diving, it's actually going to be kind of nice to be able to walk right off the deck and only just like a mild step. It's because when you have fins on, it's obviously it's hard to walk around, so it's nice just to be able to shuffle right. So the least amount of big steps you have to do. The last big step should be the giant stride off the back of the boat, basically. It's actually quite amazing the amount of material that we put into this boat. I think we're at 5 sheets of 1/8, four sheets of 1/8, and then a 5 by 10 of, or 2 5 by 10 of 1/4 inch, and 2 4 by 8 of 1/4 inch plate in this thing. It's quite amazing. I don't know, I would have never thought we would have used that much, but anyway, it's got to be put in there, I guess. So I'm tacking it down, like the bottom side is, I put that chunk of angle to the existing bulkhead that's going to bolt the deck down, and then I'm welding this plate on the bottom side of that plate. I'm welding that to the bulkhead as well. So that'll be all I'm really doing is extending that bulkhead up to the deck. So there wasn't enough there originally, so to cut it out, that's. So this side of the boat was actually, it's a little bit straighter. I think it's probably because they didn't dock on the side as much, because it's always easier to dock on the side that you're running the boat from, right? You can see a lot better, so most people tend to dock on that side. But, so anyway, I didn't really have to pull anything in on this side when I was tacking it. In other places I did, but in the back end I didn't. Well, thanks again for watching, guys. Appreciate it. A little shorter video this time. I keep it just over 15 minutes. So anyways, appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Have a good one.